We gonna talk like we,
I
you know.
think it hurts as a man that's not emotionally aware to cry. Like I've seen men furious once them tears come because that's the only way they knew how to express that emotion.
You think like they're
It's
mad
like,
about the fact that they cried?
I killed him or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like you going through this feeling and you need to release that.
Yeah.
But instead of allowing yourself to go through that range, you're gonna choose anger
because
it's the one you're most familiar with. It's the one that's most
and it's
connected
powerful.
to what being a man
it's told
would be.
You hit that on the nail.
Well, but it's our truth though.
Yeah.
Like you'll understand me going through this emotion because it's the one that you think men
and
normally
as a man,
would do.
We want to take action
But
on everything.
crying.
And sometimes emotion is about just sitting in
Sit
it.
still in it.
Like go through it.
Sit in it.
You gotta know something about water.
What can I do? What can I lift? What can I move? What can I punch? What can I scream at? What can I attack? What can I erase?
One of my favorite Nipsey Hussle quotes, and it's on one of his albums. I think it was a Big Sean song or whatever. Maybe it's on the Big Sean song. He was like, "Yo, I went through every emotion." Like I don't know many men that can say they allowed themselves to go through every emotion. Like when they was trying to do something, that means happy, sad, exasperated, whatever it may be. Allowing yourself to go through every emotion.
Right.
Allow yourself to be sad. Allow yourself to contemplate and think and wonder. Like we just choose anger. If we're not happy, we choose anger. That's not healthy.
Right.
That's not a healthy thing. You know what I'm saying? Allow yourself to feel that heaving in your chest. Allow yourself to say, I need help. Like allow that to happen, bro. And shit is so, like you said, when you cried, I didn't even want to tell you the last time I cried. I knew because I had to sit here and think about it. And then it cried again just because I cried over this stupid. I'll tell you when the cameras go off. Well, I'm gonna tell you when the cameras go off.
Okay.
Maybe she'll put it on Patreon or something. But yo, going through that and just cry and weep, bro, that shit is it's such a release.
It is.
It's an orgasm. Damn near. It's orgasmic.
Can we?
You know what I'm saying? It's literally, it really
I
is,
love
bro.
y'all.
But we refuse that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to keep going on the same thing.
But I would
necessary.
say this. I always tell people, like I said, when it's water, you can't hold it. If you look at the ocean, it could look like the calmest thing you've ever seen. But if you was in them waves, you was in that ocean, if you was in that tide, you realize it's a force you can't control. Right? But I will say this, and before shifting to one other thing before, that is one of the most grateful things and things that I'm most appreciative of having an autistic child, because he doesn't conform to the society norms, and whatever he's feeling is what you're going to get sometimes in that moment. But even still having to teach him how to function in society, realizing that there are certain spaces that it's not safe to release that. So I always work to create the space at home that he knows when he gets home, whatever he wants to do, if he wants to whatever, he can do it. But I always say to my son, and I've been saying it for so many years, and I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know what I was saying when I first said it to him. I was just doing what I thought would calm my kid down. You know, if you know, Tal, if your child is in the middle of a crisis, you're just trying to get them to stop, you know? And I would just say, repeat after me. You know what I'm saying? Energy doesn't die. Energy must be transferred. Energy doesn't die. Energy must be transferred. Energy doesn't die. I would start doing stuff like energy must be transferred. And he's like laughing. Now he's angry. But because I'm doing it this way, he's saying it, we being goofy, and next thing you know, he's laughing because you can transfer the energy also. And sometimes, like you said, anger is not the only outlet. There are healthier ways, and it is like an orgasm. That's why I said, I released that day from my tears, not from where you thought it was going to come from, but trust me, I felt the same satisfaction and pleasure. And that was
exhausting too.
It
Letting
is.
that shit go off, you was like, Jesus.
You're like,
thank God.
One thing, talking about sitting in it, right? One thing I've learned in therapy is that you have to ask yourself questions when you feel certain things. My therapist asked me this question. She said, where do you feel it? Like pinpointed in your body where you feel it. Do you feel this feeling that you're feeling in your mind, in your brain, in your stomach, in your gut, in your penis? You know what I'm saying? And is it just like flowing throughout your body? Like, where do you feel it? And then you have to go deeper and ask yourself, like, why do I have this feeling? Especially when it comes to jealousy, rage, regret, grief, things of that nature, because there are answers to questions. And if we take the time to ask ourselves what's bothering us, and then we ask ourselves, how can I solve this problem? We can figure it out. But what happens is we just get, like you said, we just get frustrated and throw things. Prime example is like, it's like everything takes time and intention. I was trying to record videos yesterday. I was trying to do a fire play video, and I don't know why, but I just did not want to write down a script. I did not want to write down what I wanted to say. So I was like, I'm gonna smoke a little weed. I'm gonna get hyped. I'm gonna just do the video. You know what I'm saying? I pull out the fire wands, and I just kept messing up over and over. And I'm like, that ain't it. That's not what I want to say. That's not how I want to do it. And I realized that like it's because I'm rejecting taking the time to plan this and to really like look deep. Like writing a script is more than just writing a script. It's like being intentional about what it is that you want to say. It's about planning versus just doing. And sometimes men, we just want to do something.
I call my boyfriend. It's his Titan side, and you know we both game in the game Destiny. They have 3 different character modes: Warlock, Titan, and Hunter. And the Titan is the Force, the brute force, the whatever. I'm just charging at it, and he acts like that all the time. So what you just said is so real because sometimes y'all just get to it. You know what I'm saying? And
read the clues.
Yeah, it's real. But you know, you both said something that that kind of takes me to where I want to go before we go into our last segment. And the 2 things that I want to surface: the word pleasure, because I think there's a need to redefine it in this conversation. That's the first thing, because we are the business of pleasure, but everybody thinks sex. And if you look up, you know, Janet Jackson went famous for the song Pleasure Principle. The definition of the pleasure principle is the satisfaction that you get from the relief of pain, right? Things that don't feel good. Anything that doesn't hurt or doesn't have those emotions that we describe to not be the most pleasant are things that please us. Joy, laughter, happiness, music, dance. So the things that invoke that side of the emotional scale. So when we talk about the pleasure conversation as it relates to men, first of all, y'all, it's figuring out new ways to feel good. That's one thing. But speaking of which, one of the things that I think most people are not realizing is, and this is why this is so important to talk about it now, we're actually at an alarming rate of men under the age of 40 going through erectile dysfunction. Right? They are saying the largest percentage of men who have ED are from 25 to 40. 25 is fresh out of college age.
Yeah.
And,
right.
I was doing at 25, child.
Go probably knocking things down, right? But
25.
What they're realizing is that the expectations of a man at a younger age are now higher. They're expecting you to have more together at a certain point. You know, there's this pressure to know what you want to do, be on the path of doing it, bringing money in. Unfortunately, in urban communities, a lot of young men are products of single mothers, and a lot of them feel an obligation to give back to mom. So mom been struggling her whole life, and now I'm finally old enough to be able to take care of moms. But you know, they're struggling. Maybe they're not getting into that success that they thought they was going to get to in a certain time, and psychologically it's killing them. I
would like to play devil's advocate with that one, or not necessarily disagree with you, but I think if that's I think that a big part of that reason is because of the world we live in is very unhealthy. You know what I'm saying? Everything is about instant gratification as it relates to like stuff on social media, but also like the pill popping situations, the drugs that people are taking, the excessive drinking.
You went right where I was going to say.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like we're not prioritizing our health on a mental level, a spiritual level, and on a physical level. And then you add in the anxiety of life's challenges and the things that we're dealing with it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And then with like, we're expecting the stimuli, that instant gratification stimuli to like always be there. And, you know, even when it comes to relationships, a lot of men, I was having a conversation about young people in general, not being in a relationship. I was on a podcast the other day. They was like, oh, relationships aren't the way they used to be anymore. And I'm like, yeah, because we got Tinder. We got shit that motherfuckers are swiping thousands of people, and it's like, why do I want to invest? Why I want to invest in anything? You know what I'm saying? So as soon as like it's not giving me the stimuli I want, I'm on to the next, and that's not a healthy way to live. Because when it's time to sit in something like we've been speaking about, like you don't know how to be present. Because it's like, all right, I'm used to that new relationship energy. I'm used to that stimuli that just ain't happening anymore. What you get when you're dealing with new shit every single time that you get a chance.
Every time. Okay, so sir, I'm actually really happy you mentioned all of those other vices, because I was kind of in my attempt during Men's Health Month, actually we had Mental Health Month in June, and doing a series of things to educate men on things or whatever the case is. And I wanted to talk to the guys about henny dick, right? And one of the things that I want to ask you guys after you listen to the videos, honestly, it's not short because it's 2 of them. They're about a minute and a half each, but you need both. But the question that I want you guys to help me with after is, I realize that I have an audience on on a particular platform is posted on of over 90% men. Mm-hmm. But the conversations like this are my least engaged videos, right?
Wow.
Which is a little scary, right? Certain things they respond to, if I'm saying things to women, like, y'all need to stop doing this to guys. I get all the responses in the world, but if I'm telling guys, hey, this thing you're doing is bad for your health, right? Crickets, right? So the first part of it is me talking about what it is and actually what is happening to your body when you are fueling yourself on alcohol. And this really applies to the same things you talked about, the drugs, the leads, the pills, because all of these are dehydrants. Like none of them are adding anything to your body. It's actually pulling. Yeah. So I'm going to play this, right? And then I want to just hear your thoughts on what you heard. Okay?
Let's talk about Henny Dick, because at the end of the day, this is one that I really think we need to know something about, especially for my Black men, because we know that it's been mentioned in many a songs. Now, let's address the first part of it. Henny Dick is what, for those who are unaware, when people talk about consuming Hennessy, a certain amount of it can have them in bed going all night without actually experiencing an ejaculatory response, meaning they're not coming, right? Now, while this can be something, because listen, alcohol has contents in it that can actually serve like a muscle relaxer, and this kind of promotes lower inhibited behaviors, which can be good for sex initially, because that means that your neurological response system is not having the same alert response that it has when you're completely coherent and not under the influence of alcohol. So sometimes we're so deep in our head that we're not able to actually control our physical, responses during sex, and that can lend to a person becoming overstimulated and coming really quickly during sex. So when you're under alcohol, this is something that could be a little bit lesser for some, right? Now, here's the other side of it, what people don't talk about, is that because alcohol consumption is something that literally dehydrates you, right? The penis erection is a blood flow, right? Blood flow is fed by having hydration, having water in your body to feed the growth of those blood cells, right? You're over time actually contributing to what can be an older age erectile dysfunction. We're seeing that men, at least 50% of men over the age of 40 are forming some type of erectile dysfunction, whether it be psychological and emotional, or whether it be physical because something else is going on within the body. Now, dehydrated dick ain't no fun, but let's go a little deeper into understanding what this dehydration of
So now I'm going to give you guys the last part of it.
So some of the things that you can do is, let's start with,
and I want you guys to, once I kind of give you the other side of it and then tie it together, and I'm going to shut up and listen to y'all.
Okay.
But let's go a little deeper into understanding what this dehydration of the penis is going to really contribute to. Alcohol causes the body to release a hormone known as angiotensin. Angiotensin has a direct impact to vasoconstriction. Vasoconstriction is something that lessens blood flow, right? Because it kind of narrows out those blood vessels, making it really difficult for the flow to the penis and keeping and maintaining an erection. Now, there are ways that you can kind of work around this, and that's by making sure that you're consuming things that we call our vasodilators. While vasoconstrictors are something that actually narrows it, vasodilators is something that widens it and allows more blood flow to not just the penis, but other parts of the body. I mean, not to sound like a nutritionist, but ultimately consuming things that are like celery, other green vegetables and things like that, our citrus items like our grapefruit, oranges, lemon, these are all natural vasodilators. These will actually help increase blood flow. So if you're dealing with any form of erectile dysfunction, consuming these foods are a natural way of actually helping your body to kind of counteract those sort of effects. Now, obviously, the form of erectile dysfunction, if it is associated with anything that is medical, you may also have to take certain types of medications or supplements to go along with it. But a lot of people who like to take the natural route, there are food groups, and those are just a few, that can help increase vasodilators and improve the function of your organ. Ultimately, Henny Dick might be good for the moment, but it can really, really, really be bad for the long run. You might want to be a little bit more sparing on how much consumption of that alcohol you're having over time, because we want you to be strong for the long.
So
excellent.
Thank you.
That was excellent. I did not know that.
It's interesting because you said instant gratification. Mm-hmm. And literally they're consuming the things that they're consuming for the instant moment. Like, yo, it's gonna have me up all night. Honey packs, we're not even gonna go there, right? Things like that. But in the long run, they're doing research to see most of the guys who have consumed alcohol more than a certain times in a week, maybe they're partying on the weekend or whatever the case is, not in a casual way, are the highest percentage of men who have erectile dysfunction after a certain point in 40. And they don't find out because they're telling their doctors. They find out because they end up in couples counseling because they ain't performing or whatever the case is. And then they're now, getting to the bottom of why it's happening. And usually at a point where now their body's almost reliant on medications to perform. Like it's so severe.
Yeah, because they went from relying on the Henny to relying, because that's also another type of way that you could train yourself in the wrong way. Because I do know men that speak about like, yo, I'm gonna go get the bottle of Henrock and it's gonna go crazy. But guess what? Now you're training yourself to need that in order to perform. And then when that stops working, that's when you run to the pills and stuff like that.
But the other part that I'm curious about is though, when I start talking about, here's healthy ways or give you the foods or whatever the case is that you can use to do it, I find that because people don't want to let go of these vices, they're rejecting, you know what I'm saying? The information is saying like, we want to help you, but you have to want to help yourself. So I guess what I'm curious about with you guys is, what are the proactive ways that you help ensure your body, your organ, your other manhood is able to stay at its optimal performance in the long run? Because I think psychologically, all the stuff that you talked about to me are psychological reasons for erectile dysfunction. All the stuff we talked about today. Because a lot of men say that when their mind is going through certain things, they really can't show up a certain way physically, or they become like robots about it.
And let's not underestimate how the non-tangible things can really have a physical effect on us. Like I was watching a video about the nervous system. When you hold in stress, when you hold in anxiety, it leads to cancer. It leads to diseases. It leads to things that destroy your body. Yeah. So when you're not in a place where you feel safe to express yourself because someone else is making you feel defensive or just unsafe in whatever reason, if you're experiencing anxiety, whether it be at work, these different places, if you do not release this energy, it can grow and become cancerous within your body, not to mention other things that attack your nervous system. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like all of so
how?
Mental
nerve damage.
Yeah, mental
well,
health.
Your nervous system, your nerves, right? So when you're all constantly overwhelming your nervous system, you're always in this heightened state of functionality. You're always in this fight, flight, whatever kind of response. Yo, I got to get this done. I got to go do this. I got to drop this off.
The same way, the right type of bad news, the same way a certain type of bad news can make you want to fucking throw up. Like there's no smell. There's nothing. Nobody punched you in the gut, but you get the certain type of, you could feel like you want to earl, you could feel like you want to cry, you feel like you want to just ball up and die. Like that's how powerful the mental is when it comes to like the effect that it has on the body. You know what I'm saying? And then
and the body naturally has a way of choosing where it's sending help. I don't, like for example, when you hurt your foot, your nervous system reacts. Ouch, I'm in pain.
Send some white blood cells down.
Right. So you're heightening these cells to respond to it. But if you're constantly needing to have that response go to your mental, then you can't be surprised when your other head ain't functioning like you wanted to. Because your penis, aside from blood flow, we're talking about nerve endings. We're talking about thousands and thousands of nerve endings concentrated in one spot. So it scares me that a lot of guys are finding this out post 40, which to me only takes their mental into a worse state during a period of time. And we talk about midlife crisis. We talk about all these things, and you don't realize that this is just a collateral, domino effect of everything that happened from 20, 21, X, Y, and Z. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because it scares me to think that at 25, a guy is got to worry about whether he performing. It's and they say most men by the age of 30. Anxiety. You guys confirm or deny. I'm not a man. Anxiety. But by 30, they say you're starting to really want to make sure you're well within your career. You're well within the things that make you, people define manhood by, right? Because that goes back to what you said, Tahoe.
Women, I didn't gave it up. Sex. Yo, first of all, man, we got issues. Okay. Seriously. Like we gotta really break down everything that we think a man is supposed to be, or we've been taught a man is supposed to be. Because there's really two things that I think mostly that really matter to men, that really can make or break men and their view of themselves. How much money they got, how good they are in bed. How much money they got, how good they are in bed. And even on the 2A, how many women want them. Right? Even if I don't get her, but
which is a derivative of the first two, if you get technical.
Right. So it's a derivative of the first two. So I think when it comes to the henny dick, I need to please. Yeah. I need to be looked at as this in the bed. Also, social media, right? And I hate to go to this because it's not even a real thing. It's something that we like. You log in and you're making it a thing when it's not even a real thing. You don't know who these people are, but women are saying how displeased they are with men. Women are saying what they don't need, and men is a thing. So now when you actually have access to this one, you have to please her. You have to come off a certain way. Guess what happens when you're I have to. Anxiety.
Performance anxiety.
Yeah.
Anxiety.
And
so I have to
anxiety
get past that anxiety.
Yeah.
This is the Marvis, you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so your belief or faith, remember what I said earlier, I've built this whole persona up. I gotta be this guy. But this one denial, this one bad move can reshape that entire thing.
Oh yeah, she'll never fuck with you again if it's that way.
Go on social media, talk about it. Chat. You see her in the club, she acting funny. Your friends saw her bag, you bag her. Now she acting funny.
Yeah,
your whole existence could be in question right now.
Do you know what I say to those women? Their penis not functioning is the least of your concerns, because this is why most of our men drop dead at 50 from heart attacks, strokes, things of that nature. People don't realize that the body is under constant stress in that situation. Performance anxiety, anxiety to provide, anxiety to protect, not feel safe themselves, but constantly offering protection to others. The cocktail is what I call it. You know what I'm saying? The toxic cocktail. I'm telling you. And then you see, you get a call one day that he just dropped dead on his job or something like that. And I know that I'm saying this not to scare you, but I'm also saying it to scare you, because if you are one of those individuals who are listening to this conversation and it's hitting home, because you, not just because of what we're sharing, but because you're realizing, I might be contributing to the problem.
But see, I will say this, and Marvin, pardon me. I don't want to seem as if I'm making it a woe is me for men type thing, because we do have to be proactive and seeking therapy and just being a better person, right? Once you start pouring into yourself, the love overflows. You can't. This is not a woman's thing. This is a man's thing. But
you think men reject women's help?
I do think men reject women's help often, very often. I think men don't actually like listening to women because.
Oh yeah, I was
there's a
guilty
whole
of
nother
that
conversation.
Oh, I was guilty of that a lot. She told me a lot of shit, and then I hear from somebody else, and all of a sudden it's an epiphany.
Right?
She's like, motherfucker, I've been telling you that.
Like, well, you know what? I'm team woman on this one, y'all, because I definitely just sit there and be like, well, you're just gonna have to learn for yourself. Yeah. They interview married men of 50 years, and a lot of times if you hear any of those interviews, older men, white men, black men, Spanish men, it doesn't matter. And they ask them, what do you think the key to a happy life is? And they'll say stuff like, listen to your wife or something like that, and we'll laugh. But you can't negate a man of 50 years.
Because y'all pay so much attention. Y'all pay so much attention. Go ahead,
so get back to the health part, because we did speak a lot about what we probably shouldn't be doing, but let's talk about the tips that a man can do. First and foremost, the mindset got to change. Anything in life worth having is worth waiting for, worth building. And God has an interesting way of showing us that everything kind of works the same way. Shit takes patience. So first and foremost, you got to get out of the head that I need things to change instantly. You go to the gym, you're not going to see results, even though you look in the mirror after a week. You feel like you see something. But the reality is, it may take a year or two before you see that effect. When it comes to sexual health, especially when it comes to having a penis that's working the way that you want it to do, you need to eat right. You need to be hydrating. Most people are walking around dehydrated. You need to be drinking more water. You need to be exercising. But also you need to be doing sexual practices that are going to help your penis work better. Edging is one of those things. The way that you practice is the way that you play. So if the way that you masturbate is as quick as you can, as quiet as you can, holding your breath, you know what I'm saying? And in secret, guess what? A lot of the times you're going to have experiences where your orgasms are going to feel the same. They're going to come quickly. They're going to be uncontrollable. You're not going to be in control of your breathing. So spend time, as crazy as it may sound, when you masturbate, elongating that process, getting familiar with what it feels like to not let yourself orgasm right away. Edging yourself is going to lead to stronger orgasms. It's going to lead to stronger erections. It's going to lead to your refract time lowering so that you can get hard faster.
I'll be late for work.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. I think we universal on that one.
And there's a difference between taking a long time to masturbate because you can't find the right video, and taking a long time to masturbate because you're taking your time to draw out that orgasm.
Mm-hmm.
So for those who are not familiar with edging, it's literally bringing yourself very close to the point of orgasm and then stopping the sensation, so you allow that orgasm to kind of subside a little bit, and then you build it up again. And you can do it over and over. The more you do it, the better you're going to get with getting familiar with that point of no return. And you'll also, this is a very good one, you'll also get to the point where you are actually able to experience orgasms without ejaculation, which is not necessarily the henny dick. I call it the demon dick. When you stay hard after you nut,
well, baby,
bro, that's when you put in the most motherfucking work. And she look at you like,
he looking at me like, word, right? I'm like, I don't know what.
The reality of it is orgasm.
You never stay hard after you nut it?
No, that's not a thing for me. But I do know. I do know what you're saying is true.
Yeah,
yes.
But it's a refractionary period. That's what that is, because some men have shorter refractionary, and just for education purposes,
it don't happen all the time.
That's the time that it takes for you to obtain an erection after your last release, right? So some men don't have one; they just going straight through. Some men need a quick few minutes. I'm coming right back, and some men, the night is over. You know, party done. And that's what you said. And I love what you shared about intentional time with yourselves, because that in tune thing that we spoke about earlier with the physical self-care and the skin intimate, we are like that too. But also I found in the beginning, I was seeking instant gratification from, pleasure and whatnot in that case. And the same thing with my masturbatory practices, go straight to the level that I know it's going to get me there and get it off. And don't get me wrong, sometimes you only got 60 seconds to make a thing happen. Yeah. And, I do that. Kids stress me out, go to the bathroom. Right. What you guys want for dinner? Right. Yeah. But then when you have time, and that's why I always promote pleasure mapping, intentional time with yourself to understand what pleases you. How can you help your partner understand your path to pleasure if you don't have a comprehension or understanding of it yourself? How can you nurture her and guide her into the things that bring you satisfaction when you're scared to moan half the time? And we're not, but I love that you brought that up. And before we, close out and our last thing, that actually brought me to the product that I wanted to mention, because this right here, this bad boy.
What that is?
This bad boy right here. So I'm gonna be honest, Sidekick was actually named Sidekick to be both a sidekick to you and a woman, right? We're very intentional about how we name stuff and the packaging and the sexiness. So this could sit next to your cologne. They wouldn't even know this is your whack-a-mole. But Tahoe, can I get you to open that?
Hold on, this is the thing that y'all gave me for what's the name?
Yeah, this thing. And open that bad boy.
Sure you want to touch it?
Huh? I want you to touch it. Look. I will guide you. This is what I was doing, my nurturing tone. Right. So that's how it comes packaged. It is in a twice seal. So you know that nobody could, and it also has a safety seal on the outside. That's important. Yeah. Just drop it out.
Slinky.
It's serious, right? So you wasn't expecting it to fall out. And that's how it is when a guy pull up with the gummy thing. Yeah. He just drop it out his pants and you over here trying to get it up. Women, we're literally sitting there like trying to elongate that thing or whatever. Right. But it's like that. But honestly, so with this one, just tell me, how's it feel to you?
Oh, it got grooves in there.
Yeah, it's gross.
Oh shit.
It's textured on the inside. And that's to give some additional sensation. It has those brief constriction points. So there's parts of it that are a little bit, you see that outside design constricting. All right. Yeah, you see that? Go ahead. You see that?
Well, I don't know if y'all can tell, but
you could flip it inside out.
Yeah,
believe it or not.
That makes it easy to clean.
Yeah, and that's the best part of it. You can clean it just like that. You don't got to dirty up your socks.
Hey.
You feel me? You let it go in there. Just clean it inside out. Now you got an extra pair for the week.
Oh, them ridges is there.
Yeah, the ridges are there. So that's gonna give a lot of texture sensation on the veins or whatnot or whatever the case is. And you're gonna see, and that's the glands of the penis as well, which is the head and the frenulum. Which is my frenulum.
Yeah. My frenulum. I like that one.
The frenulum is your frenulum. But what I love about this is initially when I saw it, because it is closed-ended, most people just think masturbatory sleeve and that's it. I immediately, every time as a woman, I look at a male pleasure product, I start thinking of how it could aid me in the pleasure. And what I love the most is that you can't, as a woman, I can't perform oral sex and have my mouth at the tip and on your balls simultaneously.
Right.
It's literally impossible.
Yeah.
So I love the fact that I could slide the sleeve on and free my mouth up to go to
Other
the testes,
places,
to the
yeah.
perineum, to the gooch. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, speak them
or whatever.
terms. I
You know what I'm
like that.
saying? You know, I call it the gooch because that's what y'all know. I like to say the nacho reason because it's not your balls, but it's not your asshole either. Right? Right under there, we get a little pressure.
I like the nacho region.
Nacho region. Yeah. Nacho this and nacho that. But it's also, and just so you guys know, that area is so sensitive because it's like the external location of the prostate. And we're here to educate, right? This is the adult edutainment part of it. We're here to educate with the nacho region, that perineum, for men who are uncomfortable with directly accessing prostate stimulation directly through the anal canal, right? This is the part that is where men's semen literally travel to mix in with seminal fluids before they shoot out, right? So basically you building them up, getting them up, or whatever it is, and the semen is traveling up, right, into that area, and it kind of sits there and collects. So when you stimulate it, you stimulate that area with a little pressure, a massage to that area, and you're going to actually help him have not only a better orgasm and a stronger orgasm, and it's better for his prostate, which helps also, prostate health. So I love this sleeve for that reason, but I also think that this is a lot of times guys masturbate with their hands, and they only are used to the sensation of hands. You talked about edging. Imagine if you started the process with your hand, and then you edged it, and then you switched to another sensation, and then you took it home with that, where you, like I said, you can come inside the sleeve because you got no messy cleanup. Literally pop it off. Go clean it off and start your day. Stick it back in your case, your case, and we have toy cleaners. You want to use toy cleaners. People, I know this sounds crazy, but use the proper things to clean your tools, depending on what they are, the materials that they are, because they help preserve them for the long haul. But this is game changing right here. I love that you're doing that, Tahoe. Can we get a close up on that? What he's doing with it is, listen. So for guys, that compression. That compression. Let me ask you a question.
He hasn't stopped doing that shit.
When you're
I'm trying not to look at. I've been smiling while you're talking this shit.
That's your masculinity yelling at you. Look. But when you guys go to donate blood or take blood, what do they have you do?
Squeeze.
Hold something and squeeze it. To help the blood flow drive. Don't just stroke. Just place the sleeve on and squeeze it. Help the blood flow build to the peak point, because that release is going to feel 20 times different than just your average whack-a-mole. So this is the sidekick, and I'm sharing this because I think if we're going to have an honest conversation about it, there are positive benefits to orgasmic release when it comes to preserving your mental. You literally can kill a headache with an orgasm. You know what I'm saying? So I do want you guys to take time. Guys, we have free guides at Bedroom Candy too. Written by yours truly. But it is like a masturbation 101 guide. Talks to women about how they can please themselves, men how they can please themselves, but also mutual masturbation tips. I give you some specific tips based on, not just hand motions and gestures, but consider, and I'm gonna give you this because I know you got the sleeve already. And we're gonna make sure Sir gets on in his hands.
Please
place the sleeve on you when next time you're performing oral sex on your partner and you're in that sniper position. Okay? Because you know how you're pulling yourself into her? Well, have the sleeve on you, and you're basically going to be
fucking
into the sleeve.
Oh, you having a threesome.
You're going to be ascending into the sleeve while you're providing oral pleasure. I want you to see how hard you go.
When you're getting pleasure
too, because typically in that sniper position, she can't reach your anatomy to offer stimulation. 69 is typically one of the only ways people get it.
And people don't like that as much as they think they would.
They think they do. What if you could actually be comfortable laying down, you know what I'm saying, giving that satisfaction, but also getting it for yourself, and knowing that if you do come, it's not going to be everywhere. I always try to Pro tip it, y'all.
So this is one thing I want to ask you as a sexologist.
Yes.
Excuse me. I want that hat on right now.
Yes.
Okay? So I was literally talking last night to a friend of mine, and him and I were speaking about the fact that women respond better to pressure during sexual experiences. Like porn teaches us in and out, that whack-a-mole that you talk about. And don't get it twisted. It's great when you take it does what it does when it's time to. But the majority of women like the idea of feeling full, feeling stretched, and feeling that pressure, that grinding motion when it comes to like riding dick. And so many men complain that, oh, I don't like it when she's on top because she starts grinding and I lose my erection, or it just doesn't do anything for me, right? So I came up with this wonderful idea, and I want to know what you think about it. Maybe men should start practicing jerking off differently to get used to that type of pressure. As crazy as it sounds, imagine instead of doing it like this, where you're just jerking up and down, where you're taking the time to kind of like get used to getting pressure from a grinding motion. So when it's time to actually pleasure the woman, because it's not always about what we want, it should be about what they desire and what works best for them. So when it's time to do it, you're already kind of like used to getting pleasure from that. You know what I mean? What do you think about that?
One, I love it. Two,
I do that.
You can actually
jerk up like this?
Or you could place it against your stomach while it's erect. And instead of actually doing this stroke, stroke with the two hands that way. Because the other side of your penis is going to be against the flesh. If you have lube on it, it's going to still give that. But you're going to get the pressure against the abdomen area. And that's actually an erogenous zone on men that they don't realize. But maybe the way that a woman is doing it is so forceful that they can't feel that. But if you have your, right against your gut and just do that motion instead with your hands, while same thing, you'll kind of help a customize to it, but also understand why women do it, right? First of all, our equivalent to the perineum or the gooch is actually in our fupa region, right? And the mons pubic area where our pubic hair grows, right? So just think about this, and I'm just using myself for example. If I was to place my fingers in and push up, I'm pressing towards what? Right here.
G-spot.
So if you take a vibrator or your hand and you apply pressure here,
you're rubbing G-spot.
You're actually stimulating her G-spot from the outside. That's the first thing, right? So oral sex, penetrative sex, if you just press down, you're also forcing the anatomy in the vaginal canal down into your penis while you're stroking her.
Yes.
So she's going to feel the sensation of your shaft against her more, which is what we get in riding, right? Because we are able to control that pressure against us. But on top of it, now you got basically every part of our anatomy in operation. We're getting penetrative sensation. Our clitoris actually stems into our vaginal walls. And in the first 3 inches of it surrounds the walls. There's our vestibular bulbs. There's 2 bulbs of the clit you can't see that basically hug the wall of our vagina, right? Then you got the external part of the clitoris, which is here. And then the stems of the legs of it actually go into the lips of our vagina. So that pressure is hitting all parts of our clit from the in and out while getting G-spot stem, because we're on an angle.
Yes.
Right? Getting that triangular angle, which is angling towards our G-spot. Yeah. If you're a larger man, you back in the A-spot. You know what I'm saying? So you're a little deeper. But the bottom line is most women don't experience orgasm without what?
Clitoral stimulation.
We're taking our clitoral stimulation when we're riding. We're not asking you for it. We're saying, give me that. You know what I'm saying?
So fellas, step up that grinding.
Understand that the grind is essential. Yeah. Okay? The grind is essential, but that's a lot of things that women don't understand. And y'all kind of do it. Y'all do a lot of, this is what I want to give to y'all. There are a lot of things y'all figure out. Y'all just don't even know what the hell y'all figured out, right? Because a lot of times when guys go to actually they keep that thumb or something on the outside and you're pressing. Yeah. So you're doing it. You're doing it.
We learned that through conversations like this with women, with sexologists. You know what I mean? Yeah. This is something that 20 years ago, I'm damn near 50, 20. We didn't talk about none of this.
Right. Yeah.
I did.
Not in open spaces.
I swear to everything I love, I didn't even know women came. I didn't even know that was a thing. Like, even if I was a thing, I didn't know it was something that was supposed to happen. Like, everybody was supposed to go through it. Multi-orgasmic. Like, most women are multi-orgasmic. Yeah. I thought that was a thing. I didn't, like, when women say, oh, multi-orgasmic, I'm like, oh, you're multi-orgasmic? Yeah. Most women are multi-orgasmic. Yeah. They could keep coming. Yeah. Like, this, I don't even think multi-orgasmic is a thing because most women are multi-orgasmic.
Well, I think the term multi-orgasmic is the wrong term, if I'm being honest, because we can ejaculate like female ejaculation, we can come back to back. An orgasm is more a mental surge and release. And you know, because you're so literally levitates out your body, it looks down at you and says, I don't know if you're breathing anymore.
Hey.
Right? Like, I don't know if you're there. You like, please come back. You laying there dead. You like, you just literally looking at yourself saying, and then you're looking at them. And then you're looking at this. And that's the moment you realize you could never let them go. Right? So no, but seriously, a lot of us experience regular ejaculation, involuntary creaming, involuntary, like a lot of women, I don't know if you guys have experienced this. Most women, when they release a squirt release, they for the first time, it's on accident. And then they spend their life chasing it again, trying to figure out, how did that happen? And that is how you form those bonds to those guys that you probably should. No, okay, let me stop. But y'all get the point. The bottom line is there's so many things we do, but we don't know what we're doing. And this is what I love about conversations like this, because this is where information and execution meet. If you executing, but then you get this information that you're like, some guy said to me recently, my girl, she was, going crazy and, asking me to really jam it in her mouth and her face and, whatever the case is. And she's just squirting. I'm like, what's going on? I'm not touching her. I'm not whatever. Why? A lot of guys have the questions, but they don't have places to ask them without looking like an idiot or feeling like, I'm supposed to know. Right. Yeah. And I just say to you guys, don't feel that way. Yeah. There's nothing better than a man who sits down and says, let me ask you something. And they asking you about what pleases you.
Yes.
We do not see that as a lack of information. We do not see that as ignorance. We do not think you're stupid or less experienced. We see you as intentional.
Right.
And you said it, sir. Intention.
Yeah.
When you on purpose about my pleasure, are you kidding me? You gonna get that shower that you talk about. I'm gonna be like, after you make me come like that, I'm in there. I'm not only exfoliating you, I'm going, he loves me. Right. That's special. That's the thing. I'm telling you. So just I hope that you guys appreciate the last thing I wanted to ask you guys to do. And this is our Money Making Monday. And I didn't announce when we went into adult edutainment, but y'all could tell when we started educating. But the point is, our last segment is called Money Making Monday. And we say that because we drop on Mondays. And, Candy had a song about Money Making Monday. And this is the part of where I ask individuals who are pioneers of pleasure to speak about how they have turned this industry of pleasure into opportunity for themselves, whether career, whatever the case is, and to speak to, people only look at the monetization of this industry as, exotic entertainment. Sometimes they don't see that there are many pathways to entering this business in a way that empowers, that educates people, that helps people live better lives. So I would love if both of you could talk about the ways that you have found a business in this, or whatever the case is. And of course, I do want to also extend to anybody watching, people don't realize, as you see, we have two men who are influencers. We actually welcome men with open arms into our community. In fact, we want you, we need you. Because what I've also found is that until more men are doing what you guys do, there were moments where y'all were talking, I just sat back and smiled. It's like, y'all, I'm just like, because like you said, most guys can't talk to their boys and have those conversations. So imagine if you be in a space, in a community where that's literally what we're here to do. But I want them to know about you guys, how to connect with your business endeavors or your platforms or whatever the case is, so that they can tune into how you are monetizing and making success in the business of pleasure.
Thank you. So I work in so many different capacities as it relates to pleasure. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm definitely the person that you can reach out to if you wanted to explore things, BDSM, in a practical way. So instead of just reading about it or watching things on television, if you actually wanted to experience a true BDSM, safe, consensual experience, I'm one of those people that you can hit up. But I also love the idea of being able to create content that educates and adds value to people's experience. Like you mentioned, it took you a while before you realized that women could even have orgasms, and it should be a priority. There is so much information that we know now that is so common as we could spit that shit out without thinking, that a lot of people don't know. They're not familiar with. So many people were thinking that they were broken or that they were beyond being able to be fixed, and being able to share certain information about like how to locate areas in the body that provide pleasure, how to build that pleasure so that it's bigger and better than you've ever experienced before, being able to take your relationship to different heights through coaching and stuff like that. These are all experiences that you can get from me. These are all different ways that I can add value. And when I learned how much of a commodity it is for, you know, a person like myself, a Black man in this space, to be able to create a safe space for both men and women to be able to ask questions, to build on different, you know, types of curiosities, and to kind of, shatter that tabooness as it relates to the conversations about sex. I realized that this is the business that I need to be in. You know, I did sales and marketing prior to doing this, and I understood what it feels like to have a good product.
I love that.
You know,
I love that.
if you can't find something everywhere, you know what I'm saying?
And
then,
you created a resource that you also offer too. Can you talk about that? Because I think it was like such a dope concept.
Yes. So I do have a book called Foreplay 101, which is literally a list of 101 things that you can do, or different ideas that you can use for foreplay. You know, part of what it is that I preach about is that foreplay is important. In fact, it should be kind of like the forefront of our sexual experiences, and shouldn't be looked at as like the precursor or the appetizer, but can be looked at as the whole meal. Foreplay can and should be looked at as the whole meal, and sex could actually be considered foreplay.
Right,
or
especially for you
sex.
guys who know when you get in there 5 minutes later.
5 minutes later, but foreplay can last hours, but the actual penetrative sex can last only in most cases, only last a couple minutes. So which one is really the appetizer?
Right, yeah, Cat Williams made a joke about that too. Like when you give it, she's like, you want her to feel like, yo, he brought dick too.
Yes.
Like he after he did all this stuff to me, like you came with that too.
Yeah. So you know, being that I speak about foreplay a lot, and I talk to people, you know, a lot of people's understanding of foreplay is just limited to eating pussy, licking titties, and sucking dick or kissing. And though those are fundamental things that we love, absolutely love, hear me out, there are so many other things that we could build upon as it relates to providing mental stimulation, because foreplay starts far before you actually get in front of the person that you're trying to engage with.
Yeah, you know, I think I want to say this was Dr. Ruth, but I could be misplacing it. But it was a very, very, very popular, well-known sex therapist who said foreplay starts immediately after your last interaction. So it's not even just the thing you're doing on that day. It's like after we have sex, all the flirting, all the playing, all the teasing, all the texting, all the whatever, everything you do leading up to the next time is foreplay. So that's why you also have to be mindful of each other's mental state in between, because nobody's a robot. You know what I'm saying? You want me to come to you, you know, a certain way. Yeah. So I love that you shared that, and I encourage people to check out 101 ways. It's 365 days in a year.
Yeah.
If you just duplicated that,
and a lot of those things,
like
I said, that list, you could just flip it and reverse it and create a whole nother variation of some of the things that I've written about, you know? So to get back to what I was saying, you know, so I do coaching, I do private sessions, I have books out, I do classes, I work different events, I do podcasts. There are so many different ways that I was able to, again, give value to the community that needs it so badly. So you can find me at sirmarvelous.com. I always tell people to go to sirmarvelous.com because I have a mailing list there. And the reason I mention that is because social media hates us.
Yes, they do.
We could be here today, going tomorrow because of a new upgrade or some violation. So instead of just focusing on the social medias, please join our mailing list, because if anything happens to any of our social media pages, we can still get in contact with you.
That's right.
I can still keep you up to date with everything that's happening that's Marvelous related.
I love that. And guys, So Marvelous is on our Instagram page. You can scroll through if you do want to tune in. But like you said, go to his website, get in tune. But that'll give you an opportunity to check him out and vet him, right?
Yes.
But I think if you've listened to this conversation, you've heard enough to know that he is a reliable source that you can trust. And Tahoe, I know you have multiple platforms. But, I'm sorry, really quick, Tahoe. And I should mention, because this episode is dropping beforehand, if you happen to be in the New York, New Jersey, Tri-State region, Sir has an event coming up on the 9th.
November 9th.
He's actually leaving us, y'all. I don't even...
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
It's a fake leave because I'm always going to be in New York. You know what I'm saying? But I am throwing a transition party because I am moving to Atlanta. So November 9th in Brooklyn, New York, we're going to be doing one last Shindig. Did I say that right?
Shindig.
Right? Where we're going to be celebrating, we're going to be turning up, and we're going to have a good, marvelous time.
I love that.
Marvelous time.
A marvelous time. And then speaking of which, Tahoe, yeah, of course, plug your stuff, but also know you got some upcoming events and stuff too.
Oh,
so
yeah,
please
that's right. Shoot.
talk about them.
As y'all can see, I'm ready to work. I'm about to go out of here. I got to get to Home Depot. I'm building a milking table and a glory. I do a show called The Hard or Soft Show, where we talk about the things that make men hard and the things that make men soft. And as subsequent to that, we also do play parties, and we have 2 live shows going. We have 2. One in November 21st.
Yes, that's
in
Philly.
Philly. November 24th in New York. DC, December 15th. And we're going to the South next year, early next year. We just booked Atlanta. We got Nashville. We got a bunch of other, states. So we want to spread the word. And we just really, it's about men being comfortable expressing themselves. It's about men actually being comfortable exploring. It's a very sexual based show. Our themes are, what did it say here? Sex, love, relationships, and accountability. Mm-hmm. So those are the things that we talk about on the show. And I'm just really proud. I'm proud of you. First of all, Sir Marvelous, everything that he's talking about, I've been able to call Sir Marvelous in times when I was going through relationship things. Kashi already knows. Mm-hmm. I've been able to call her. But these are actual things. I'm not just sitting here bigging up people. In times when I was like, I don't know what to do. Right. And I'm able to call these 2 people for support. Earlier in the show, Sir Marvelous says, yo, I'm around people right now that I feel comfortable speaking to. Mm-hmm. I have created that through not only these 2 people, but through the show, like-minded individuals, people who I have a whole Discord community with 700 people in it. Right. And they asked me the other day, like, yo, what do you want to see this Discord come to? And I'm like, y'all are my family. Like, y'all are the people I feel comfortable with now.
I chose y'all.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I chose y'all and I trust y'all and I'm there for y'all. You know what I'm saying? So I've had people email me. I've had people say, yo, I've been with my wife 13, 14 years. It wasn't until I started listening to you guys, men that I view as like,
brothers and stuff.
You know what I mean? Actually talk about the things you do in the bedroom. And like, I didn't know that men could talk about stuff like that. Right. And I didn't even know that women like that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And me and my wife are having sex. We've never had this type of sex. I've been just in and out my whole life. I didn't even know that I could do these things or work with sex toys or, I got a lube dispenser at the side of my bed. But there's levels. And the fact that, man, we don't really have spaces to talk about that. The fact that I've been able to create this community, which you could also join, but you got to listen to the show to do so. Mm-hmm. It's one of the proudest things that I've done in my life, besides my children, of course. It's just, I'm just very humbly, just very proud to be able to say that I put this on for the community, created this community, and, these live shows, you'll be able to experience some of that love. So, go on over to my Instagram. What is it? Tahoe_TV.
Yes.
On Instagram.
And check out the Hard or Soft
show up in the bio. You can buy tickets to the live shows. And let me know where you'd like to see us come, because we're on our way.
Yes. I love that. That is what we do here at the Business of Pleasure, because the last part of our mission is to earn. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm a firm believer that you should always take your passion and make it your purpose and turn your purpose into a paycheck. Mm-hmm. And if you ain't doing that, then you maybe, need to find something, whether it's a side hustle or hobby. I understand we got great jobs and careers. You've been working in between, but there's room. Don't say you don't have time. Right. Don't say you won't have room. If you love it, find a way to explore it. But if there's a way for you to monetize it, in today's age, what can you not monetize? I was laughing, and I'll close on this. Watching a YouTube compilation, I was watching it for like 7 whole minutes of the guy who goes around with the skibbly flapping his stomach. Watching him go to 20 places, flapping his gut for 7 minutes.
7 minutes of your life.
And you know what he started to do? He just started to form partnerships with companies where he would stand in like a car dealership and just do it. next to the car they trying to sell. And I was like, this guy
made a check
slapping his stomach into a business.
It turned his stomach jumping up and down to the same sound.
Yes.
We're not even changing the tune. The same exact sound until a fully profitable, monetizable business. And what we try to do here at BK is make it affordable for you to have that hustle, that side hobby, or if you decide you really want to go deep into this as a career, we want you to have a space. But at minimum, even if you're not looking to be a professional or a sexologist or pro dominant or have a platform where you're talking about sex, it's a space to learn yourself. Because I get high off my own supply. I ain't gonna lie.
Shit, me too.
She been dropping all these one-liners. I gotta get my one-liners up, yo, for real.
We absolutely get high off our own supply at Bedroom Candy.
The nacho area.
Oh, yeah. The front of them? Yeah. I'm always saying some crazy stuff.
I want you to touch the front of them and the nacho area.
Tahoe tucking stuff. But yeah, I absolutely. Well, how awesome is it that when I want to have pleasure products, I can get them through my business that benefits me. You know what I'm saying? And I think that if there's no other stamp of approval, it's that I laugh all the time because when people ask me how do they know that the products is good because I'm selling it or whatever, I'm a human, y'all. We love Chat GPT these days, right? I literally will go to a product and I'll say head to toe. Let's go to head to toe, Bedroom Candy. And I'll pull up the product and I'll go, we list all our ingredients, right? And I'll go, I don't have to tell you because everybody trusts in AI these days. Everybody listening to these things. I'll go get the product description. I'll go take the item straight out of the ingredients and I'll drop it into Chat GPT. Y'all see me, I'm highlighting everything in our description. And I'll say, Chat GPT, tell me what these things are good for. Because I ain't got to tell you, right? Yeah. Tell me. So tell me what these ingredients can be good for.
The cheat code.
Look, because you don't got to believe me.
Wow.
You ain't got to believe, right? And then I also paste the ingredients right in Chat GPT and I'll just hit go. And I'll let her tell me what she thinks these could be good for. These ingredients are commonly used in skincare and body products, particularly those aimed at moisturizing, soothing, and protecting the skin. Here's a breakdown of which each ingredient typically contributes. And it'll literally take our ingredients. Go to our website if you don't believe me. I promise you, you'll find a detailed description of everything that it does. And it says that this will be perfect for a moisturizing balm, or body butter. It will be great for deep hydration, soothing dry skin, and providing a protective barrier. Everything that we told you that this is going to do for you.
Yeah, it's fire, bro.
It's nothing like being with a company. People always ask me why I'm so deep about it. Because I trust it. Because I use it. Because it's in my bathroom. Because it's on top of my toilet, in my shower. It's on my son's sink base. We have products in our skincare line that's good for kids. Right. All I'm saying is, guys.
Blue Magic.
You gotta listen. But I promise you, if you copy and paste those ingredients off that Jergen bottle, you probably get a different answer. So with that being said, know that we are a company you can trust because we invest in quality, not just in our products, but in the people that we do business with. Here on The Business of Pleasure. Right. I am your host, Cash, your sexologist bestie, and I really hope you appreciated this conversation. Like it, comment, share it, subscribe to us because I promise you, the episodes are gonna just get a little hotter. It's gonna get a little, you know what I'm saying?
I'm coming back for another one.
You coming back?
One of the hotter ones.
Always welcome for one of the, we might have to do that Patreon side of things to make sure y'all, but absolutely, you're always welcome. First of all, always welcome. And I just also want to thank y'all for trusting in us, being here today, and also choosing to join our community and spread that same love that we're putting out there. We are a Black-owned business, and we are creating thousands of Black entrepreneurs nationwide, men and women alike. It is not a lot of places you can go who can say that. So thanks for tuning in. Make sure you come back next time to the Business of Pleasure podcast. Bye.